Hello students, good morning. I am Dhirendra, Modern English School, New Area, Senior B. This is second part of video lecture for class 8 of chapter 4. In this part, we will study how did tribal people live, what they did for their occupation, for their livelihood, how they spent their life. Dear students, by the 19th century, in different parts of India, tribal people were involved in different activities. Some were cultivator, some were settled cultivator, some were jhum cultivator, some were hunter and gatherer, and so on. Dear student, in this video lecture, we will study only two parts. First one is some were jhum cultivator, and second is some were hunter and gatherer. Dear student, what is jhum cultivation? Other name of jhum cultivation is shifting cultivation. Shifting means what? Shifting means to settle from one place to another place. Means after harvesting crops, tribal people leave the land fallow and they move to another place. That's why this is called shifting cultivation. To practice this cultivation, first they cut tree top. A question may arise, why they cut tree top? They cut tree top so that sun rays reach the ground. In this cultivation, they cut the shrubs or they cut the trees on the ground. They cleared the land and burned them. And scattered ashes on the ground. This ash contained potash, which was helpful to increase fertility of soil. Dear students, they practice shifting cultivation on a small patch of land. To clear the forest, they use two things, axe and hoe. With the help of axe, they cut the trees, and with the help of hoe, they scratch the land. And after scratching the land, they broadcast the seed. What do you mean by broadcast? Simply they scatter the seeds. Means they did not plow and sow the seed. They did not plow the land and sow the seeds. They simply scatter the seeds. And once this was over, once they harvested the crop, they leave the land fallow for some years. Here a new word, fallow, came. What does fallow mean? Fallow means leave the land uncultivated for some years so that soil recover its fertility. Dear students, jhum cultivator can be found in northeastern part of India and central India. In northeastern part and central India. In hilly region and forested region of northeastern part and central India, one can find jhum cultivator. To practice jhum cultivation, their movement in the forest should be free. They should be free to move in the forest. That's why they could practice shifting cultivation. Dear students, the next is somewhere hunter and gatherer. Means some tribal people used to hunt animals and they used to gather forest produce. One such tribal group was found in state of Orissa. They used to go on hunt collectively and they distribute the meat among themselves. They add fruits and roots and shoots. They cook their food in the oil of sal and mahua. Flowers of mahua was also used to make wine, alcohol. Students, they also used to sell forest produce. Whenever weavers and leather workers need color of palace, they have to visit what? Gatherers. By this, they fulfill their needs. Means weavers and leather workers receives color of plus from tribals. In return, they give food grains or clothes to the tribal group. Means barter system existed there. Forest people also used medicinal plants and herbs. They were completely dependent on forest produce. Dear students, whenever forest produce shrank, tribal peoples were compelled to practice other occupation. They have to practice odd jobs, means load carrier or as a building site or at a road building site. Some tribal peoples worked as a laborer on the farm of peasant and farmer. By this, they practice their occupations. But dear students, here one tribal group, Baga, they never tried to work for others. They thought this was against their dignity. Means they were not willing to work for others. They completely thought that they were forest people and they have complete control over forest. But for some of their requirements, they have to depend on traders. Traders used to go to their locality and sell their product at higher prices. For this, tribal people have to take loan from money lenders. Dear students, here interest of loan was very high. Means this was quite impossible for tribal people to pay interest of the loan. This was the reason they were compelled to think that market and traders were cause for their poverty and misery. That's why they hated traders and money lenders. They considered traders and money lenders as outsiders, and they set their minds about traders and money lenders as cause of their misery. Dear students, today we studied about jhum cultivator and hunter and gatherers. We studied about Baga, which were reluctant to work for others. In this part, we came to know about field fallow, means leave the land uncultivated for some years. We also came to know about mahua. Mahua is a flower used to make alcohol. That's all. Keep yourself at home to fight with